Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your Art Sherpa, and today I'm so excited to share with you how to paint this reclining abstract female figure. So this is a figure painting in the abstract style. It's all age appropriate, family friendly, lots of fun, super easy for beginners. I'm going to break down every part of that. To help me do that is my husband, John.
Hello.
He's helping me bring these abstract modernist painting tutorials to you every day in April as part of a daily painting challenge called Acrylic April, where from April 1st to April 30th, we meet together every day and paint a new painting. And because really nothing makes you better at painting than painting, and each year we tend to have a theme, and I've been asked for abstract pretty much every year I've done this, and this is year 5 now, and I felt like I'll better do that soon. I'm not saying I don't got to do pets and I got to do all the things, but it just, there was a wonderful community that's really hung in and waited for this. So I hope you guys are really loving these. I love this painting. It's easier to do than you think. If you check the description below, tons of resources. There are links to the website where in the description where I hide things, that traceable is available for free if you don't want to draw this out with me, but I am going to draw it out with you. There's resources to a school if you have trouble like navigating the internet and you need just like one place to go and have it sequential and you want some more support. There are books to help you, like if you're a person who loves layered learning. Also down here, I put materials and the brushes and the paint colors. There's a newsletter on the website. There's so much stuff. I'll tell you about it again at the end. There's stuff for you to do again, but where those things are hidden is they got to open the more description below is where I hide them. Now, to that end, once you've checked those materials and those brushes, why don't you get those things, come back, and I'm going to show you for real, really real, how you can paint this. Let's go. So we're going to be using an 8x8 surface today. I have on my palette phthalo green, lemon yellow Hansa, which is just a light lemon yellow. Any yellow light will work. Phthalo blue, cad red medium, cad yellow medium, quinacridone magenta, ultramarine blue, Mars black, and titanium white. Shall we throw up step one? Step one is going to be a lot of fun. Now I'm going to show you how to sketch this in. I'm going to use paint so you can see it because the pencil lines are going to be too faint. You can use the traceable on the website at this stage if you don't want to freehand this in. But I say, hey, consider giving it a go. I'm going to take a little bit of my quinacridone magenta and my ultramarine blue and a number 10 Raphael Textura, and I'm going to just as loosely as I can kind of sketch in a line. So over here in the upper right, I'm going to put in a little elbow. On the inside, let's add kind of a round shape that's going to imply the face. This particular figurative piece, right, is just very loose. It's super abstract. It's super modernist. So it's going to really not ask too much of us. I'm going to come down here, and I'm not really going in heavy on the waist. I'm going to bring out a little knee, sketch that in. And then I'm going to come back up to the head, pull in a little shoulder line, another little chest line. Again, the waist isn't really dug in, so we're not using like magazine proportions, right? We're just really enjoying the flow of the lines. Our legs are kind of going off the surface, which is sort of nice. And the only sort of anatomy detail that I probably will put in is the belly button. Now I don't generally do like nudes, and this won't be one. And that's just because we have people of all ages from all over the world that paint, and I think there's nothing wrong with figure painting at all. But I also recognize that online spaces sometimes come into our homes, and we have sort of a family-friendly show. So we're going to keep this figure painting very modern and very friendly, family-friendly. So I don't want you to worry in any way at all. So that's step one. And I think that was pretty okay. I like that. I wasn't sad with that result. I hope you guys were not either.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come in, and I think I'm going to grab, want to put up step 2. We don't really need to dry anything. I just have to find my step 2 brush, step 2. So I'm going to use my number 18 hog bristle brush, And that's just because this is a little smaller than the 20 and I want to be able to get in the corners. I'm going to loosely start painting in my background. So I kind of want to have a sort of polarization of color here, and I think I'm going to pull up like my greens and yellows and blues up here and then put my peaches and other stuff down here, and that's going to kind of create shadow. So let's start with a little bit of our lemon yellow and the smidgiest of our phthalo green, and then we're going to add some white to it. And that just really goes neon, doesn't it? I think that gets so very, very neon. And I'm going to bring this across here. And just starting through, down through. I can go ahead and just touch my brush into the blue. And it's going to get me kind of like a very bright, vibrant, psychedelic blue. And roughly work that into the space as well. You can hear my brush like really scruffing into the canvas. So I'm being rough with this. I'm not being gentle.
Yeah.
Right? That's not the direction we're going, is gentleness in any way. So I'm going to maybe take a little blue and green together, and it's going to darken perhaps through here as we come down into this space. And I'll wipe off extra water on my... Let's come through here very loosely, right? Because we're just trying to be just very, very loose. Now let's call that a step. Really rinse out our brush. And I'm going to go into my ultramarine blue and my quinacridone magenta, as you do, and I'll get a little white involved. And I'll pull this up here. I'm going to wipe off, and I really want a lot more white magenta in there. I'm going to rinse out. Get a little strange, I think, if you're up for strangeness. Hopefully you guys are. I'm going to take a little of my yellow over to my red. I'm going to make an orange. I'm going to bring a lot of white over to that, and it's going to make a very distinctive peach. So the peach is going to go right into that purple. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Maybe a little more cad red, and it kind of goes more of a coral peach. I love playing with these little ranges of colors. And I'll pull that down into the purple, as you do. So that... Make sure that this is around the sides, because that sort of helps the framing later. Look at that nice color. That's just very expressive and very chill. I really like that. Let's dry everything and come back. I'm going to show you what you do next. So I'm going to do an interesting thing here. I'm going to kind of flip this color scheme and this color scheme on the figure, which I think is really fun. I'm going to take a little bit of my phthalo blue and phthalo green. I'm going to use a number 8 Raphael Artini round. And I'm going to come here and kind of work a very dark value in the curve here. I'll come back over to that lemon yellow that's so amazing and work that into the white. And you see that gets me quite a vibrant color. I'm going to go even lighter than that. I'll brush that back. See, I'm curving that brush stroke. I like that. It's very generalized. I'm going to take a lot more yellow and a lot more white. Probably will be back here a little bit again. Just I'm going to take a little of this blue and let's get a little of that ultramarine. This takes it to a teal. It's a sort of an interesting color. It's different than the turquoise here. Add some white because I think we will come back here and work on that contrast in that space, but it's not bad. Let's call that a step. We don't need to in any way dry that out because we're going to just keep working up. I'm going to come up through here and I think I'm going to go into my cad red and interestingly enough my quinacridone. I'll come down the arm. Kind of in the inside of the implied hand. And sort of down that figure. Now I'm going to go ahead and get quite a lot of white into that. And again, we're going to revisit this, okay? So it's not like we're just here and done.
I've always really liked these color plays on things.
Yeah, they are super duper enjoyable. I'm bringing a little yellow and white. And kind of bring it up on the leg and pull that down. I'm not painting anything in specific in any way. I'm just playing with that space. I might take a little of this yellow over to that mix that I made earlier. Bring that back in to the red. Kind of see that it blends on there, doesn't it? Bring that down the arm some. Definitely there on the hand. I'm very much liking that. That is working for me very, very much. I like it. I definitely like it a lot. I'm going to go ahead and take a little of my quinacridone magenta and my ultramarine blue. Oh, let's make this a new step because I'm going to work the face. I'm going to come here and put this sort of darker purple on the left half of that. Come under the hand here. And then let's, kind of get into some lilac here. Wipe this out because you really want a lot of white for it to really show. So we're just painting those two fields. And just notice that I am kind of scumbling and loosely going down with this blue, but I haven't touched these outer areas yet. Have not touched them. Just a little white. Kind of back into the lilac. Rinse that out. Let's call this a new step. I'm just trying to let you guys see the fields as they build up on the figure. All right, we're going to take a little of this yellow and red and definitely some white. Come right there along the hand. Kind of brushing back and forth between my cad yellow and adding some white to that. It's very enjoyable. Really rinsing out my brush and drying it off between segments. Take a little bit of this yellow and a little bit of titanium white. And this will be, because they're contrasting in kind of nature, pretty shocking overall. Come back with a little cad red there. A little under the belly button. All right. Now I do want to dry everything thoroughly, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what we do next. So this is pretty interesting already, but we want to take this a little bit further. I'm going to take a number 12 Raphael Bright. I might even, if I had a smaller one, I might even go smaller than this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little of my black paint. And I'm going to come here, and I have to decide directionality. If I want it to be kind of vertical, if I want it to be horizontal, how I want to do this. And that sometimes is the most challenging thing. I'm going to come here and make a little square. Make them all about the same height. One hopes that by using the brush's width, you can kind of create a fairly decent check, because the brush will build the check. And this is something that just feels, you know, really modern to our eye. I also think these kind of contrast moments in a piece, I don't know, it just evokes something in me every time I engage it. You know, the check, the way we think of everything from subway tiles. I'm grabbing white. I'm not painting it super tidily, right? That's not really the point. See, that's not the point in any way. And then one thing I can do is I can come kind of forward here with a little bit of my ultramarine blue and my purple. And add a little bit of it with white in there. So that sort of continues that check on. And come through and kind of clean some of that up with my brush. Just give it some architectural anything. I'm going to get my peach with my yellow and red, my cad yellow and my cad red. I'm going to add a nice, interesting kind of depth of dimension there in rough brush strokes. And the purpose of this is I'm just, how to explain this thinking? So imagine that you're in a room and you're reclining and there are objects around you that are man-made. There's light falling. There's this feeling of late afternoon. You've read a book. Everything is just perfect. Maybe you're on vacation. There's an emotion that can start to fill your space. And what we want to do is capture some of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm going to actually take my dirty brush and go kind of even into this with a little purple so it's not so perfect. So see, that's very rough. That's very unexpected. And get a bunch of white on there. So it's a very light peach. And maybe this feels like light. I'm adding some yellow up here. So I haven't painted everything out, but I've added some strength of dimension to it. Can even go darker and shade in a couple spaces that are. Okay, let's call that a step. All right. Are we good? So we're going to come in and maybe work over on the figure. I'm going to come back over into my lemon yellow and my white. And I'm going to come on this side of the face a bit with my brush using the edge and flat. And that kind of creates maybe a bit of a highlight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Add a little white there, kind of coming back towards me. I'm going to go back into my purple. You know, just resting there. Just figuratively reclining. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to come on the outside arm. I'm going to just take some cad yellow and some cad red. Kind of add that pop right there coming up. I'm going to make a little triangle. Sort of working here and coming underneath. Now a lot of white and yellow. Just roughly putting that out there. Bring a little bit of yellow along here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to the downward face of those fingers. They're not perfect. It's still quite rough, right? We're seeing things, you know, through an interesting lens. I'm going to grab a little bit more ultramarine blue. And add that a bit to my face. I very much like the purple outline. So I'm going to put that back. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it is.
And a little bit there. and along that knee. So sometimes, like the way that we line things with our brush, you know, you might be like, oh, could I do it with my Posca pen? You absolutely could do it with your Posca pen. But there's something really wonderful about the brushwork. As we go through and the way it anchors everything. Right? Because that changes the shape and plane of objects. And coming in with just the corner of my brush to make that shadow. Right? It's a lighter line there, and that changes that as well. Along underneath that changes that space a great deal. Add a little line there, changes that space a great deal, doesn't it? Put a little blue there. I'm just pulling those frames out from each other. Let's call that a step. We are cooking through. I gotta tell you, we're doing really good. I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow here, and it's okay if I got a white. This is the cad yellow. I'm going to add a little highlight right there. And along the shoulder for sure. And along that hand. Different than the lemon yellow, isn't it? Distinctly. I'm not painting out everything that I had going on in any way. I'm going to come down and work on the legs for a minute, so let's put that up as a new step. We're doing great. We're just working these things out. Okay. So I'm going to come in here, and one of the things I had wanted is I had wanted to take a little bit of the lemon yellow and the phthalo green and quite a lot of white. And come across the top of that thigh with that bright color to make it feel like light had hit that. And then I'm going to come here and hit some light at the bend of the leg. Bring some green forward, just kind of anchoring that. Cleaning up that line. Blending that through. It's just fun. Let's take a little bit of our turquoise, right, where we get the blue in there. I'm going to put a little turquoise there. It's not bad. We don't mind it. I'm going to come up in here where I have like my dark blue. I'm going to take a little bit of just my phthalo blue and my phthalo green again. And just darken that. Look at how that changed that space. That's wonderful in that space, isn't it?
Really is.
Now I'm going to come back into my quinacridone magenta, and I'm getting some white in it. I really need it to be light. Don't want to take out my purple entirely. I just want to put that there. I'm going to get a little of my ultramarine blue over into that mix. Maybe a little more white involved. Blend that all in so that there's a shift of color, but it's still very... Now I'm going to take my white here and kind of dash it over the space between that yellow and that kind of pink purple. It may pick up some of the color, and that's okay. We're going to actually take advantage of that. Isn't that a nice, interesting, energetic line? It's also kind of evoking what we have down here, this more defined structure that we might, you know, be thinking about. And I'm going to come and take a lot of my white. And I think I have to put out some more white. On this one, I'm using a lot of white just to keep everything sort of chill, right? Not get too deep in the palette and be able to make those dramatic color differences. That's really where a lot of this is. You can see I'll come in with my yellow back up into the purple in this sort of area where we have that light. And I like that very much. It feels like it's glowing. And that's kind of what we want. A feel of a glow. I'm taking that up there. Kind of want that light to hit there, that glowing light. This is why I really, really, really kind of love this. You know, trying to get that in and come back down with that orange. Because I love that curve. I just want a little light. There we go. See how they both have a little light now? It's kind of fun. Kind of nice there on that face. Add a little orange there. Oh, I like that 3 zones. Very much.
Yeah, I like it too.
Top of hand. It's working for me. I like that there on that shoulder. That's super satisfying in every conceivable way. Back into that really fun sort of purple. And come with a slightly darker value there. And then maybe something light there. A little white and blue. All right, we're going to call that a step. This is fascinating how this is going.
This is really turning out great.
I
I've
very
just been
much enjoy
watching
this.
it. Yeah,
Huh?
I'm just enjoying watching it.
I do too. I like it very, very much. So I do want to add just a little to this far side. So let's come in there and work on this just a bit. All right. So I'm going to get into my yellow and my green like we had before, and a lot of white. And I'm going to dapple some of that out there. I like that very much. Get some of that crazy aqua involved. It's so cool. And you can see that dimensionality does absolutely just little rough marks. We don't want to take away everything we've got, right? Because what we have really is really special. And one of the hardest things I think about painting abstractly, especially figurative abstracts, is what do you keep and what do you let go? What matters so much? And what should we put down? Right, and how we show in value that that's a foot. I'm going to come in and bring that up a little bit. You know, initially I kind of had this indoor feeling, but now I feel like we're outside, maybe in a more park-like
Yeah,
setting.
I can see it.
Just making those colors pretty. Just want them to be pretty. So many opinions, right? So many opinions. Let's come into the yellow. There we go. I'm looking for it. I'll know it when I see it. I'm doing a little scratching down there. All right, I have to stop. I will just go and go and go until there's nothing left, and it's clean now, and it's got great flow and balance. I feel like we have some interesting lighting going on. We have a really fun dynamic range of color happening. I think I've got one line I feel the need to anchor a little bit. And I'm
Which
taking my
one's that?
purple. Because I just felt like it had no separation. There you go. Just cleaning that up a bit. That was it, and that's my brain calm now. And so sometimes that's what you're looking for, is you're looking for space where your brain is now calm. I know that's a strange kind of target. Am I going to sign this? So like if this was just for me, I suppose I might sign it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might. I might go ahead and sign it. I'm going to use a liner.
Give it the old signature.
I might. Yeah, I might give it a signature. But what I might do is kind of turn it here.
Ooh, it got tricky.
And I'll put it back.
Oh, that's fine.
And I might come along here. Just making sure there's nice flow on the paint, so. So I like doing weird things like that sometimes too. John will attest to this, where the signature and all that becomes part of the arrangement and everything. Man, that was super fun. That was super unexpected. I hope this whole month has been unexpected. Remember, guys, there's a lot of resources for you. So like, you didn't want to draw that figure, that felt overwhelming, traceable. It's on the website. It's free. If you're in the school, all those assets are easy to find and together in the school. But you can just do the lesson here on YouTube and grab those assets and find everything. Either way of doing this is fine. I feel good about all of it. I just want to be able to be here and help you guys in all the ways I can. There's the book resource, there's the store, there is past Acrylic Aprils, there is our website, our newsletter. These are all just resources that help. There's this channel, there's the watercolor channel, there are art retreats where you can paint with me in person. There's so much, and that's going to be hidden in the description below on the website. theartsherpa.com is where you will find most of those things, or a way to find one of those things. If you ever have trouble, though, you can write us. And don't forget, on Facebook, there's a group. And in that group, you can come and talk about how you felt about this figure. Was it great? Was it frustrating? Do you think your figure looks crazy? Do you think this is the best thing you ever did? It's really all about you. And the support there is incredible. I have two groups there, Art Sherpa Official, which is for my main classes, though you can share these Acrylic April lessons there. It's for my tutorials. And then for April, because we have some people that don't really paint with me all year, they just come April, we have that April group. So either one of those is fine. But they both have this in common. People are nice. I think that's important when you're trying to learn how to paint. I'm really loving this. You know, don't forget the other Acrylic April books are out.
That's right.
Right? So when you go to the link, look at the other books.
There's more than just one.
Because every year I'm like, there's a book. And you're like, sure, there's a book this year. Sure, sure, sure. They're all there.
All the books now.
All the books are there. So that's going to give you a chance to not only do this, but maybe go back and take on a challenge. Like, what if you didn't do like the water class, right? Where it was all about water, or the way of water, which now is a Cameron title. Hey, that's there now. So that could get you through that Acrylic April. It's all there. It's there, and it's for you. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys doing this with me. I really love this, and this may end up getting painted super large for my home. In fact, I could do a whole series of these. So this is really great for me emotionally. I think John really likes it.
Yeah, I like these too.
So guys, I love you. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we'll see you at an easel really soon. Bye-bye.